This is my bipolar 2 vlog. First of all, I wanted to address a couple things you probably will notice in all of my videos, not only my videos where I talk about my personal experiences or my personal opinion or what I have found to be what I've researched, the things that I've seen. First, as you can tell right now, I tend to fidget a lot when I'm on camera. This is probably not related to bipolar, maybe. I also have 2 anxiety disorders, which I am going to vlog about later. So I'm hoping that it's not too uncomfortable for you to watch or annoying. I touch my face a lot, rub my eyes a lot. I say a lot because it's hard for me to keep my train of thought and say what I want to say. Sometimes it's hard for me to find my words. So that is also something you're going to see in my vlogs, and I hope it's not too annoying. Also, the first bipolar vlog is very long, and I'm pretty sure that only people interested in the subject are going to watch it entirely, and that's fine because that's who I'm trying to help. There are a couple of things I didn't discuss in the last one because I knew it was getting very long, and I'm going to say those right now. I wanted to say the types of bipolar, because a lot of times people who don't know about the disorder assume that there's just one type, that you're bipolar, and that's it, but it's not the case. There are 4 different types of bipolar. There's bipolar 1 disorder, bipolar 2 disorder, cyclothmic disorder, and bipolar non-otherwise specific, which is what I have, bipolar NOS. So the first bipolar it involves 1 or more manic episodes or mixed episodes, and often 1 or more depressive episodes as well. Your episodes can last from several weeks to many months. Between the cycles, you obviously have a plateau, sometimes not a very big one. These are also related to seasonal changes. In my experience, and people that I've spoken to, or people who are related to bipolar ones, it seems to be the more dangerous bipolar, because people who are manic a lot can hurt people. Their anger and irritability can become out of control, and they can physically hurt people, or they can just be very emotionally abusive. And I don't want to sound like it's okay, but if you have people like this in your life, you should really understand that they are not in control of this. And more than likely, they have huge feelings of guilt and regret afterwards, after they've had an outburst or something like that. Bipolar 2 is what I was initially diagnosed with before, like when I first went to my psychiatrist. That involves more depressive episodes than bipolar 1. And it's more like hypomania. It's depression and hypomania. It's less manic. And that's basically bipolar 2. Cyclothmic disorder is, I wouldn't really call it bipolar. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's long periods of fluctuating mood. It's the most mild form of bipolar. You have both depression and hypomania, but they're shorter periods and they're less severe, and they're not regular. So I'm not saying that people with cyclothymic disorder aren't ill. It's just, it's not as severe as bipolar 1 or 2. Bipolar disorder, NOS, is basically when you cannot lump your disorder into the 3 other categories. Basically, it's people with NOS. Just, it varies between person to person, and it's not specifically treatable, which is why I have such a hard time with it. As I mentioned before, I don't experience mania. I've never had a high manic episode. It's always irritability, extreme irritability, like the sound of my dog snoring right now. If I was manic, or if I was having a manic episode, I would want to strangle her. I would be, like, grinding my teeth. It would just annoy me so much. Just things that normally wouldn't annoy you just send you flying off the handle. It's very hard to deal with, and I feel guilty a lot of the times. And the way I deal with it is to, like, now when it happens, because I was diagnosed a while ago, so I've learned coping mechanisms that work for me. I tend to stay away from people that I love because I don't want to hurt them. And being snippy at people because you're irritable, or telling them off when it's not their fault, is very hurtful. So those are the types of bipolar. Also, I wanted to mention the stressors. These are things that can trigger mood swings. You don't necessarily need a trigger, but these are things that will most likely trigger a mood swing. And they're pretty standard. They would trigger, I think, depression in anybody, or most of them would. Some common triggers are not having a regular sleep schedule, misusing drugs and alcohol. Stopping your medication is obviously a huge one, and a lot of the time people with mania go off meds because they feel good. That happens a lot, which is another reason I'm glad I don't have mania. Starting medications can make you cycle. And like I mentioned before, having a thyroid problem or some other medical conditions can also cause this. Not everybody's triggers are the same. Not everybody's stressors are the same. My stressors are different from other people's, I'm sure. And I just recently found out that seasonal changes, or seasonal depression disorder or whatever, that's common. But I just found out that can trigger cycles, holidays, illness, arguments with friends, family, problems at work, if you're able to work. If a problem arises and you can't get your brain around it, it can trigger. But that could happen, these are the types of things that I would assume could depress a non-bipolar person. Same with death in the family, or death of a loved one in general, problems in your marriage, starting college, starting a new job, anything that puts your body under stress. And one of the other things I wanted to mention is if anybody that has bipolar is watching this and they're new to it, a very good method of learning more about yourself, or your own personal bipolar, not reading what's on the net, is to keep a mood chart. And this is basically where you mark. You can make your own mood charts, or you can get them from a health specialist. I like the health specialist ones because then I don't have to make anything. But basically, you make 3 slots for depression, 3 slots for mania. You make a slot for your meds, a slot for your sleep, and then a slot for just not suggestions, just comments. Some mood charts don't have comments, but I prefer them because you can mark in the comments how you feel, how you felt that day, or what you think was your stressors or whatever. And then you just mark extreme, moderate, mild in the mania and depression. And you'll actually see, the longer you do the chart, you'll actually see it fluctuating. And you can start tracking your cycles and what's normal for you. And that's really cool. I wanted to say, actually, I'm just going to put it in the description. I'm going to put a couple of websites, addresses, and they basically say, like I touched on a lot of the stuff that's on these websites, but there's way more treatment options, recognizing the disorder in others. There's websites for friends and family who are having problems coping, because it is a very frustrating disorder, especially when you don't know what it feels like and you want to help your loved one so bad, but you can't even fathom what they're experiencing. There's plenty of resources out there, so I'm gonna put up some links so that anybody who's watching these and is interested, you can do that. There's also links on suicide and understanding it, which sounds funny because most people think, well, suicide is just killing yourself, right? But with mental disorders, there's more to it than that. Obviously it's the same outcome, but understanding it is different. So I'm going to do that, and this is my second vlog for bipolar. I'm also going to do a vlog for each of my anxieties in hopes that that may help somebody too, because you could not have bipolar and still suffer from these anxiety disorders. So yeah, and that's it. So I will end this now. Thanks for watching.